Hey, Green Cricket here, presenting you the deck I had 80% win rate on the Pro ladder last Monday. We'll look at the deck and its cards, a Mulligan guide, our gameplay plan, a matchup guide and an example gameplay match. Let's begin. The name of the deck comes from two card combos, playing Yevin to draw a card and in the next turn Barclay into Cleaver for a massive point swing to generate card advantage because the value played is way higher than the spy on the enemy side. This is possible because Barclay strengthens Cleaver by 3 and Cleaver does as much damage as you have cards in your hand, which is 10 at the beginning of the game. So you have a total swing potential of 26 points. More on the exact plays and how you deal with it on red or blue coin in the gameplay section. Even though you need very specific cards for that combo, it is very reliable because you can pull the cards you need with Brewer. The rest of the deck is all about swarming, with an added Nova as a round 3 finisher. Elven Scout and Mercenaries into Dopplers are able to put a lot of elves on the board and react to the enemy deck, since Create can give you weather clear or removal in the form of Panther or Sage into Thunder after playing either. Half of Hunter is a solid power play for more elves, and Reconnaissance lets you fin the deck for more access to your gold cards while looking up the cards you need. Playing Rhyhide Vanguards onto a full board of elves is worth a ton of points, and since the ability is also triggered when you swap them, playing Rhyhide Officers into Vanguards generates even more points, while Vanguards are put back into the deck for another use with, for example, Reconnaissance. Officers in Saskia are your Guardian Angels, helping you to create the best possible hand and getting rid of dead cards like War Dancers. Often you can also use Saskia to swap 2 Vanguards, therefore triggering the ability and simply put them back in your hand again. That way you will be able to buff up all elves on the board by 4. Hattori is able to generate more elves for Vanguards to buff in later rounds, and if you manage to buff him up by 3 through cards like Hawker Support, then you can also resurrect half of Hunters with him, resulting in 3 elves on the board and a total value of 18. Ida is your main control tool against enemy engines, and her weather can generate a lot of value for you in the long run. Her weather clear is also very useful against, for example, Dagon, so always try to keep Ida in your hand. Aeliren gives you the additional value push and another elf after you have dropped 5 elves onto the board, while at the same time thinning your deck, enabling a better swapping predictability with your Rhyhide Officers. Aglaze is one of the most powerful Square Tail cards, enabling you to banish an enemy spell from the graveyard and play it. Aglaze finds value in nearly every match, and often she hits for 22 points and more, getting an enemy Scourge, Mandrake, Reconnaissance, you name it. Triss Telekinesis offers another Reconnaissance to access our leftover Vanguards, or a Doppler if Vanguard would not generate value. Let's look at the Mulligan. Cards you want to keep are Yevin or Barclay for the Cure and Abuse, your gold cards, half of Hunter, Scouts, Mercenary and Vanguards. Cards you want to get rid of are Cleaver, because you always want to play him via Barclay for additional value and you don't want Barclay to end up dead in the deck. Aeliren, so she can jump out of the deck. One War Dancer for additional value and to fin the deck, because the fewer War Dancers are left in the deck, the safer your Reconnaissance and Rhyhide Officer plays will be. If you have 2 in your hand, then keep 1 to deny the enemy from dry passing in round 2. Also keep it if you think round 1 won't be played long and you need the dry passing security. Then get rid of Doppler if you already have 2 spells in hand. If you have next to a perfect hand, you can also get rid of Hattori, since you will only need him in later rounds. Then let's check our gameplay plan, in which we find out why the deck has earned its name. Playing on red coin is very sweet for this deck. You open up with Yevin or Brewer into Yevin. Then the enemy has 2 options. Either he passes, which enables you to take the round on equal cards with Barclay into Cleaver, or he plays into it, which enables you to pass and lose the round 2 cards up. By using Elven War Dancer in round 2, you force the enemy into the round, or he would enter the round 2 cards down. Round 2, you'll try to develop your Elven Swarm, always staying ahead of the enemy. By using Barclay into Cleaver relatively soon, you will be able to secure a big point buffer, which should enable you to play some lower value cards, just aiming to develop the Swarm before he catches up. If nothing goes wrong, you will then enter round 3 with 1 card up, giving you a major advantage, and in combination with Nova, this typically wins you the game. If the enemy plays a spy in round 1, then you simply play round 1 like you would play round 2 otherwise. As long as you can stay ahead of your enemy, you will be able to go 1 card up. On blue coin, it really depends on the enemy and the cards in your hand, which we will talk about in detail in the matchup section. Generally, if I'm sure that I can win a single long round, then I'm just dry passing, enabling me to play on red coin in round 2 using War Dancer to force the enemy into the round. Against decks with high tempo potential, which can force me out and into 2 shorter rounds, I like to play on blue coin, or a lot of the swarming power will be lost if my enemy manages to out-tempo me and passes in round 2. You start like you do on red, play Yevin and generate some tempo with Cleaver. If you're lucky, he doesn't run Spy and red coin is yours once again. In the case he does, then at least you forced it out in round 1 and not in round 2. Try to swarm and even use your golds to stay ahead. Better sacrifice a gold card and win the round than losing control of the length in round 2. But since this strategy really depends on the matchups, let's look at them in detail. Greatswords. Wait with your Barkley Cleaver combination until there's a greatsword to kill and utilize either to kill another. Doppler and Alpha Scouts can generate Panthers for more removal or even a Sage to reuse Eater's Thunderbolt, so try to disable as many greatswords as possible. Your enemy will still be able to get them onto the board, but the more Freyas he already uses in round 1, the less he can use later. Wait with killing greatswords until the timer reaches 1, so they lose an extra tick, which will benefit you later in the round and in later rounds as well. You might be able to out-tempo him in round 1 because your swarm is strong and he can't play until the last card because there may be Corsairs or a Restore in his hand. So play the round to the bitter end and don't give him control over round 2 or he will bleed you dry with a big greatsword. If he uses Mandrake on one of his greatswords, just use a glaze and weaken it again or the greatswords will be big trouble in round 3. Alchemy. Often they have dead ointments in their hands, so don't kill any unit with 5 or less power and force a long round 1 on red. Dry passing on blue is perfectly okay, since Alchemy really wants to be on red as well, because then they have an easier time setting up the board. Using War Dancer, you can force them into a blue coin round 2, but even if they just pass again, then you'll enter long round 3, which is in your favor. The longer the round, the stronger is your Elven Swarm and the more likely it is that they will have dead ointments. Triss and a Glaze can use the ointments to revive cards killed by the witches, like another officer or a scout, and often a Glaze into an enemy Mandrake or expired ale will provide a big amount of value as well. Mirror Match. A lot will be decided by passing and Elven War Dancer. Playing on red is really favored here, so if you're on blue and you have War Dancer in hand and good cards for a long single round, then a dry pass is okay. If you have War Dancer and he does not, then you can force him into a blue round 2, otherwise he may dry pass into round 3. Then it's all about the cards and what crate will get you. War Dancer in round 1 can save you from an enemy dry pass. Generally, wait with the War Dancer mulligan until you see if he mulliganed it, so you can make a better decision. Keep Ida for when he pulls an engine like Dragoon, Hawker, Smargler or Farseer, or in the case he decides to use Ida on Vedder or such. Hansel. He will try to kill your little elves, and you don't really have much to counter that. Use Ida, Cleaver, Panthers and such to get rid of battering rams to prevent Hansel or Siege Masters. Your Barkley Cleaver combo will trigger Dunbanner most of the time, so think of holding it back until you have fewer cards in your hand so Cleaver won't deal that much damage or you're behind in points. As long as he can get rid of a ram, it's fine, because Dunbanner could cost you the game. Moonlight Dagon. Triss, Aglaze and Ida enable you to override his Moonlight, so try to have them ready at your hand. Dagon also likes long rounds, so he may be inclined to dry pass you as well, so in the mulligan prepare for a single long round by not keeping Hattori for example. If you have the tools to deal with his Vedder, you will have the better long round, but if there is no trace of Triss, Aglaze or Ida, play it to round 1 and try to get some Vedder out. When you feel he is able to overtake you, find a passing spot while keeping the golds to yourself. You'll need them in round 3 because your swarm won't be that effective anymore. Deathwish Dagon. In a long round, you have the higher tempo and his Lizards and Brewers need units in the graveyard. He can assure that with Cyclops, but he may end up with a suboptimal strategy that way. However, his Griffins and Cyclops may push in short bursts, so if you want to dry pass round 1, you need to make sure to have cards to counter those bursts. Half of Hunters help here, but you may need to use a gold card. A Glaze into Mandrake onto Dao could deny him Griffin targets while also denying him a Resurrection target. Oh, and keep Ida if you think if he runs Immolate. Armor Red of it. Long rounds are your friend, as long as you deal with his Redanian Night Elects, so just follow our game plan and keep either. Knight's Elects are so powerful, but don't warrant to wait with Cleaver. Better try to roll into Panther or Sage with your Scouts and Dopplers to get rid of the armor. Triss and a Glaze are very helpful here as well. Bran boats. Follow the general game plan and wait for the moment he plays Bran. Typically this is only a 7-point play because he uses Bran to set up his graveyard. Thanks to Barclay Cleaver, you should be far ahead, so you can either win the round 1 card up or lose 2 cards down. If he waits with Bran, then keep pushing, already using Triss or a Glaze to go even further ahead so that he's either never able to play Bran or get the massive card advantage. Other than that, pushing round 1 is a good idea since he may have dead resurrection cards in his hand. The remaining matchups are not that dangerous and you should be able to defeat them with the general game plan. And now let's head into an example match from my daily morning stream on Twitch.
Onward, sons of
Pomok.
Nilfgaard!
Well then let's play against Pomok. It's probably
Let's
Asimi.
get to work.
He can kill all our elves, which is kinda meh. We have Barclay, so we can play the Coinflip. We have all the golds. We could get rid of Doppler actually. Let's get rid of Hattori actually, we don't need him in round 1, so that's good. I'm thinking, should we risk another Mulligan? Because the hand is actually quite okay. I'm not sure if we need a Glaze in round 1. She's good for Ointment later. Saskia is good. Oh, let's just keep it. Let's see. Okay, we're on red coin, so let's see if he has Cantarella in hand. If not, then we can play the Coinflip abuse thing. And there comes Cantarella.
Let us see.
I mean, we don't care, we just play Yevon. And the thing is, since we played with Brewer, he can't even wait. I mean, we have already 1 in hand. So actually, this is probably better, right? So now I can dry pass as well. So he just needs to play into this. And then we can just get the lead with Barclay. So that's fine. Everything is good. Let's see. There's a Witcher. But we have the bigger one.
I've got to get this
There's
stinking
Cleaver
mess in
and
order.
Pew Pew. So 12 points up on equal cards. I like this. Do 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 do.
Time to get our hands.
I mean, the switches are pretty decent, but so what do we do here? Do we start with Doppler and then we go into Half a Hunter? What do we do here? We just need some points, so that's actually pretty decent. So there we go.
Now we will
I mean, this gives his witches a target, but hey. At least we got in 2 points of carryover. And then we probably play Half a Hunter, and then Scout, and then at some point we have enough to swarm, and then we can also utilize Saskia to get the Vanguards. Yeah, that's what I thought. He only plays 9-point witches. So this is exactly enough to not let him pass. Pew pew. Yeah. I don't like 9-point witches, like 10 is just a little bit safer because you can really kill all the engines you need. We could go into a Glaze into... but why would we? So now the question is... if we get 2 more dances with Elven Mercenary with a problem, the only thing which could really... like those 2 cards could actually stay us ahead if he wants to pass. The question is how hard to... because you already played all the witches. Now it will only be about Ale, maybe he gets that ointment. So I'm actually thinking if we want to play something like Triss. If you get double War Dance, there'll be a problem. I'm just risking this now.
How can I help?
Let's just hope here. Okay, there we go. Perfect.
What?
Still ahead. And there's Erlin. Perfect. How I don't get wrecked by Brooker Cleaver combo? Seems must pay. Depends on the deck you're playing. It really depends on the deck you're playing. It has a lot to do with passing at the right time. So for example, if you play Greats, you just play into it, you go 1 card down, and then you like, how's it? Then you get them with in run 3. So just tell me what deck you're playing, and then maybe I can help you a bit with this. We could go for another recon. Or we could just play scout now.
You shall taste of your own medicine.
Okay, we don't have a Tory in hand. He can't kill the engine anymore. It's actually fine if you play Dragoon.
Onward, Fryhead!
There we go, it's actually buffing up the stuff. And we're still ahead, so he can't pass. Let's see if he gets that ointment now, because every medic he plays from now on will be dangerous.
I'm too old.
Okay, there
for
comes
this shit.
what? Mandrick or Runestone? Runestone probably. We don't play in this row because we don't want to play into his expired ale. And then we probably want to look for right officers. I'm even thinking if you want to use Saskia to find them. But I guess you don't run into double war dances, so we can probably get one more round with Mercenary. Depends on how much tempo he currently generates.
Live and die for
Okay,
the
that's actually
Emperor.
quite some tempo. I think we're going for Saskia, actually. It messes
Wise
up
choice.
our round 3, but this way we can actually... Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elves. 8, 14. Oh shit. It's not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 14, 26. Oh, actually, never mind me. Let's get the big stuff out.
Let's hurry.
So there we go. And what do we want to have? We want to have one of those. And one of those. Maybe? Or do we have just 2 of those? No. Let's do it like this. Okay, 2 points up, so we're still fine. Okay, there comes the expired ale, it's good for us. Everything except double water and so saves me here. Everything. So let's hope.
Have strength, my lord.
And we got... let's risk again. To fin the deck. And we could also play
Let's enjoy the
Doppler.
weather while we still can.
I mean, the chance is there. It's actually 25%. No, it's less. It's 20%. 20% chance is still 20% chance. Let's play Doppler. It's just more consistent. Oh my god, is he kidding me? No, if he loses because of that, then I'm really
We ought to
desperate.
help one or the other.
Okay. This is like the consistent way. No risks here. We still have this one. Okay, so let's do some more swarming.
Fryhead!
There we go. And then we got an Elven Scout. That's perfect. It's the perfect hand to have. Nice. Good that we didn't risk for the double Wardenser. And chances that we draw Wardenser in the Mulligan now, which is good. So we can fin even more. Let's see if he uses stuff. I mean, he probably has like dead ointments in his hand, so he can't play this to last card. I can. There's Mandrake. Okay, sure. So we could let him. We could now make him go 2 cards down. Or just win as an equal. If we draw Wardens, then he will regret it. So actually, let's pass here. Because if he creates Wardens, then he can't trap his. Then he can't trap us. So that's the better way, I guess. It actually gives me the round with 1 card up. So there's probably a 2 ointments or like a medic with a dead ointment. So that's a very good situation to be in. This means we can go 2 cards up now. We don't even run into Wardenser. The thing is, I actually want to look for Wardenser here. There he is, so I can use it in round 3. And now we just trap his. And then we go 2 cards up. And 2 cards up should do the deal, I guess. Seal the deal.
How did that incantation go? Of course, as you wish, master.
Okay. That really means he had 2 ointments in hand. Okay, 2 of those are ointments. And I don't know what the last card is. We'll see. Oh, double warden, so that's actually meh. But we can still mulligan him, so that's a good thing.
As you wish.
Okay, he actually runs here. Not seen a lot of people do this lately.
This time.
Instead of mandraking my my unit, should have mandraked his Calvate, I
You
guess.
shall taste of your own medicine.
I think we want to kill that.
Why have you summoned me?
Otherwise it will get too big. So there we go. And we can still do some pretty good combos here. Maybe this will probably be the next play here. And I can still use this for reconnaissance to maybe get Vanguard for sure. Let's see.
You should not have come here.
We can also... No, wait. I'm just thinking if I wait with this and use this into an ointment, into a mercenary, into reconnaissance, into Vanguard. But we need that out before that, so it doesn't make too much sense. So let's see.
Only death here for Dwan.
I think we go for another elf.
Oh, my little
There we go. 2 cards up and only 5 points down. Let's see if he has Wilgefortz or something in hand. Another ointment. Oh, it was 2 ointments and here, right? So we actually know that this will be Witcher as well. So what we do here is now we get rid of the Warden, so there we go.
Watch and
Pew
learn.
pew, and there's Hattori. So we probably play Hattori into Mercenary, into Reconnaissance, and we play another Reconnaissance into another Vanguard, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, we can just play Siri here. Look at this.
Ho ho, I sense.
We won this 2 cards up and like, oh my god. That was... Wow. What do you think about the deck? Tell me down in the comments below, and if this is your first time here, I'd love you to subscribe and join the swarm. See you in-game.